Many of the world's greatest minds have come to a similar scientific conclusion. All of us, no matter our backgrounds or life experiences, have three core needs in any relationship. We want to be accepted for who we are. We want to know that we matter. And we want to feel loved. The fact that so many of us have indicated, even before the pandemic, that we feel lonely means that many of these friendships, both in person and online, are not meeting these core needs. But when these needs are met, they become as important to our health as our diet. And they are one of the most crucial factors for survival and reproductive success. And they mitigate all of the risks and health problems associated with loneliness. So, how do we foster and create friendships where we feel accepted, valued, and loved? And more importantly, how do we do that today in a world of physical isolation? So after 7 years of running thousands of people through in-person and online wellness retreats, and also founding a digital friend-making community and platform, I have learned that there are 4 core components to the creation and maintenance of a meaningful friendship, regardless of whether that friendship was cultivated in person or online. Mutual vulnerability, generosity, reciprocity, and energy. Mutual vulnerability creates the conditions for acceptance. Generosity and reciprocity creates the conditions for both people in the relationship to feel valued. And energy keeps the relationship growing. When these 4 elements are combined, they lead to the experience of feeling loved. And when you feel loved, your friendships feel meaningful and you feel less lonely. Now, let's dive into each of these 4 components a little bit more deeply. 1, mutual vulnerability. The definition of vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. For most people, these words make us want to run away and hide because vulnerability is seen as a weakness and something to avoid at all costs. But based on all of my years of experience helping people to create and foster lifelong friendships, I have to agree with vulnerability researcher Brené Brown when she says that vulnerability is not a weakness. It is actually the most accurate measure of courage that we have, and it is the birthplace of love and belonging. Vulnerability is telling your friend that you love them. It's sharing about your complex childhood experiences so that they understand you better. It's letting your friend know that you've been feeling lonely. It's realizing that being yourself is worth more than trying to be someone else for validation. Only by showing up vulnerably in your relationships do you actually give other people the opportunity to accept you for who you really are. So, how do we foster mutual vulnerability? Well, you have to start by being vulnerable yourself. Skip the superficialities and share how you've really been feeling lately. Invite old and new friends to do the same. And with old friends, let them know the things that you admire about them and the value that they add to your life. And when chatting with someone new, think about what you would want them to know about you if they were an old friend, and lead with that information. You could also try asking a question like, knowing what you know now, what advice would you have given to yourself 10 years ago? These kinds of questions really help to break the vulnerability ice. Just remember that fostering mutual vulnerability in your friendships has to start with you. Whether that's asking vulnerable questions or sharing your own vulnerabilities. By being vulnerable, you give other people the opportunity and the permission to do the same. 2, generosity. Generosity is the act of giving selflessly. So you know what, let's all actually just take a minute to close our eyes, and let's just take a deep breath in through our nose, and an equally long exhale through our mouth. Let's do one more of those. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. Now I invite you to bring to mind a memory of when you asked your friend if you could help them with something. That could be anything, like you helped to water their plants or read an essay or even to listen to something they wanted to talk about. Let's just take a moment to recall that memory. How did that act of generosity make you feel? Try to feel that in your body now. How did your friend react when you helped them or offered to help? Let's just take another deep breath in through the nose. And a long exhale. And whenever you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. I, for one, had a smile on my face that entire time because the memory of helping someone else made me feel really good about myself. And the amazing thing is that this positive outcome of generosity is actually well researched. And science tells us that when we give to others, we have a heightened sense of purpose, we feel more confident, we feel less lonely, and generally happier. As counterintuitive as it might seem, giving is actually an incredible gift to ourselves. 3, reciprocity. Now, reciprocity is the practice of exchanging things with other people for mutual benefit. And in any friendship, it is undeniably important that both people feel as though they are gaining something from maintaining the relationship. The beautiful thing about reciprocity in a meaningful friendship is that if you really care about the friendship, you're going to have a natural desire to give back. And when both people are generously giving, they feel as though they are contributing to the friendship, which boosts self-esteem, and they feel like the friendship is adding value to them. So to fuel generosity and reciprocity in your friendships, all you need to do is genuinely ask your friends if they need help with anything. Or you can propose an exchange. That could be a skill exchange. For example, how about I teach you guitar if you help give me some tips on website building? Or that could be a wisdom share, such as exchanging your favorite podcasts or recipes. Or it could be an energy exchange, like deciding to become workout accountability buddies or hosting a monthly, movie night together. You will be incredibly surprised by how much these acts of generosity and reciprocity will improve your friendships. And lastly, 4, energy. As with anything in life, friendships require energy to stay alive. They also require effort over time. The good news is that energy flows where attention goes. So just by paying more attention to your friendships, you will naturally spend more time engaging with them.